I would like to invite to the stage the executive of Adventure Media and your host for this evening, Clive Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to this celebration of the Rushlight Awards 2012-13. Our 6th year sees us continuing to develop this singular set of awards so that they're in keeping with the evolution of the sector. We established a new category for sustainable agriculture, forestry and biodiversity, and we have divided energy efficiency into 2 categories, covering the demand-side energy reduction and energy efficiency in power supply. We've continued with the hugely successful in-kind prize system for tonight's successful entrants, and there'll be more, in fact much more, about that later. We were delighted to bring Climate Kick on board this year with their Incubation Award as an extra potential prize focused on the very early stage businesses. This prize was some €25,000 and a range of incubation services is an excellent complement to the in-kind prizes for the successful awards entrants. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the providers of all those prizes personally on behalf of this year's entrants. To be able to offer a range of prizes that have a total value well in excess of £500,000 is truly exceptional, and it is entirely down to the prize givers' support of these awards. While I'm recognising our contributors, allow me also to thank our media partners, supporting partners and judges, all of whom are listed in the brochure. There is one group that all awards need to be successful, and of course that is the entrants. There is some excellent technical development, innovation and clever deployment in the clean tech sector. And I would like to invite everyone here tonight to recognise and congratulate all the entrants of this year's awards. More clapping to come later. The last 12 months has been a very challenging time for clean tech companies, and the stories surrounding previous successful entrants to the awards give a flavour of the travails of a young sector. Novasem did not make it to market in time, as the construction sector is definitely not at the forefront of sustainable practices, and the technology has been acquired by an Australian company. G24i is being bought out of administration as its solar-powered mobile charger and other uses of its adaptable PV technology are currently ahead of market demand. Diverse Energy has also been bought out of administration by AFC Energy, another successful awards entrant, as they too did not break into the African mobile phone mast market in time before the money ran out. With any new technologies, they can run ahead of the market, and it's not a reflection of the technology itself. Nevertheless, it does reinforce the importance of market development, and where that is reliant on regulation, the significance of that regulation not being delayed. The Minister will be here later and he'll receive some of these points, don't worry. There is also good news, though. Enval has partnered with both Nestlé and Kraft Foods to support the construction of the first commercial-scale plant for Enval's patented material recovery technology. Intelligent Energy has been rated one of the fastest-growing technology-based companies in the UK. Oxford Catalysts raised some £30 million on AIM, and their technology has been chosen to underpin the BA Green Sky biofuels project in East London. Biogen Greenfinch has won 3 big contracts to roll out AD plants in Wales and Hertfordshire, and Xeropex have successfully installed their pressure-reducing valves with Welsh Water and Scottish Water. So it's not all doom and gloom. Moving now on to our own activities, we continue to develop the Rushlight Show, which took place here today, to bring together in the most effective and productive way clean tech companies, investors, clean tech customers and advisors. With 40 stands, over 40 investing and finance institutions from around the world, and decision makers of sustainability matters from over 50 corporates, we will continue to develop the event to provide a singular platform which encapsulates the route to market for clean technologies. The three conferences, the exhibition, the Isle of Man Offshore Renewables Breakfast, and the pre-arranged one-to-one meetings have proved to be a very successful format. We were delighted to have the support of our sponsors, the Isle of Man Department of Economic Development, Venner Shipley, and Greenstone Carbon Management. We continued the quarterly investor briefing in association with Forbury Investment Network and our built environment briefings. These are early evening events designed to bring investors and financiers and built environment professionals together, respectively, to hear about the latest news and commercial developments on clean technologies. In the last 12 months, we launched the clean tech arm of the Rushlight Innovation Capital Network, an informal gathering of investors, companies, and other sector participants, covering ultimately the clean tech, life sciences, and ICT sectors. We also did a soft launch of the London Clean Tech Cluster, which is a platform to support the development of clean tech businesses and to accelerate the adoption of the sustainable solutions in the Greater London region. We also commenced the Rushlight Bio briefings covering bioenergy and biomaterials in association with NNFCC, Rushlight Summit briefings looking at sustainable business development opportunities in the built environment space in association with Summit Skills, and the Rushlight Sustainable Resources briefings. So it's been a busy year. Our aim is to provide sector-specific analysis, networking, route to market and business development opportunities covering the whole clean tech sector in support of clean tech developers and deployers. We could not have done any of this without the support of a range of different hosts, many of whom are actually in the audience here tonight. I would like to take this opportunity personally to thank you for your support and, in some cases, particular understanding during a very challenging time for me towards the end of last year. There are three main factors for a clean tech company's success. It requires appropriate technology to be managed by the right management and to be sold effectively into a market that is wanting that sustainable solution. The majority of new clean technologies will not make it, simply because there are better technologies or more appropriate solutions. That has been seen in the information technology and biotech sectors in the past. I would like for a moment to dwell on what I mean by the right management and a market wanting the sustainable solution. To be blunt, a management that feels that a new technology sells itself or deserves a premium price because it is green truly deserves to fail. By its very definition, a more sustainable solution will use less energy and other resource, and so should be cheaper to manufacture and run. It should therefore save the customer money. That should not be a difficult sell in today's market, but it still needs to be sold effectively. Of course, where the environmental cost of current practice is not fully included in the operational cost of the market, subsidy is required if the environmentally preferable alternative is to be able to compete. Such market failure, where the polluter clearly does not pay, requires direct regulatory action to influence the market towards sustainable behaviour. The market needs to be artificially encouraged to want the sustainable option. Without a carbon tax or equivalent, for instance, there will be a place for subsidies for some time to come. The role of a subsidy is to give the new technologies a route to market. It should not be a route to super profits. Management that think that a market with super profits should last for an extended period unchanged are deluded. Super profits are competed away in proper markets, and there is nothing wrong with subsidies being reduced in order to reflect that economic phenomenon. I have no truck with management that think they have a right to subsidies that provide super profits. Management should plan their businesses on the basis of competing with each other based on subsidies that will reduce over time. To avoid misunderstanding, government has a responsibility to create a framework that makes the mechanism of subsidy change clear. That does not require anything new, as the current system by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of England, for instance, which sets interest rates monthly, can be copied in an appropriate way. The impact on the economy of a change in interest rates is far greater as a whole than a change in a solar subsidy, for instance. That brings me to the market wanting a sustainable solution. Despite all the coverage, certain markets seem incredibly slow to evolve. Those that are consumer-facing have been pressured into moving the fastest, but are also probably the most guilty of an element of greenwash. Nevertheless, if greenwash pushes their competitors towards greater action, then that can only be good. So the big retailers, clothing and shoe manufacturers and consumer device retailers are managing the environmental impact of their total supply chain more than ever before, and that provides opportunities for clean tech companies. The built environment, however, is proving to be a laggard, together with manufacturing. The Olympics might have been the greenest yet, but they certainly were not green. The pressure to deliver on time, to budget, and without incident on the world stage stifled any real innovation, and the quantity of resources that went into the Olympic site and its carbon footprint were humongous. It's a very conservative industry, full of practitioners that have always done it that way, that somehow needs to change. It's in that context and with the general consumer in focus that we now have the recent soft launch of the Green Deal. A mortgage by any other name aimed at the subprime borrowing group will develop a market for a range of solutions to improve the energy efficiency of homes and buildings. The challenge is going to be to create the framework so that the consumer is protected from substandard or incorrect solutions for their circumstances, when the consumer has very little chance of being able to recognise what their optimal solution actually is. Also, it will only work if the property market recognises the value of the Green Deal investment in the property going forward, and that is not assured. Finally, it seems suitable for me to cover the meaning of a green economy and the opportunities that it provides, as that covers manufacturing too. I feel that there are very few people in government that really understand the green economy. Most, I fear, believe that it is just about solar and wind technology installers and new regulations that make existing manufacturing more expensive and so less competitive. The green economy is the whole economy. Britain has a history of manufacturing quality goods. Utilising fewer resources, including energy, involves moving away from short-life disposable goods that are thrown into landfill to long-life quality items that are bought and updated with technology developments or rented and serviced over their economic lives. That plays to the country's manufacturing strengths, our service industry heritage and our financial leadership. The government has a great opportunity to show joined-up thinking which can involve linking education, apprenticeships, unemployment, economically depressed regions, balance of payments, City of London financial prowess, growth for the economy, carbon targets, and above all, leadership on sustainability. With that final plea, the focus quite rightly transfers to the entrants and the leading clean technology developers in the UK and Ireland. I'd just like to explain how we're going to do the presentation of the Direct Entry Awards. The winner will be announced. I'd ask you please to stay at your table. The presenters of the awards, who are listed in the dinner brochure, will come to you. It's all part of the service. We know exactly where you are unless you move. I suggest that the chosen recipients stand up to make it even easier for the presenter to find you. Okay, don't be too elusive. Finally, the judges have been tough again this year, and so to win an award, not only do you have to be best in class, but you also have to be deemed to have achieved a high standard against the criteria.